Hello everyone. Hi, I can see some people joining in. Hello Karen. Hi. Oh, great. Hello. Hello Dahlia. Hi Ingrid. Hi Chris. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I'm so glad so many of you are joining in. So today we will be learning this canvas, and I made this using the Watercolor Floral collection, and I hope you will enjoy this. It's not that complicated, a very simple canvas that features the watercolor collection by Prima Marketing. And this one we launched just recently, and it's really gorgeous, really beautiful, and all that you have to do is just play around with the elements and you can get so much, such a beautiful project out of it. So if you have any questions regarding the products that I'm using here or anything in particular, just leave a comment. Nathamal is a moderator for today, and she will let you know the supplies that we're using or answers to any questions that you might have. I will be checking back on the comments again and again, but I'm not very good at multitasking, so please, if I miss your questions, please don't mind it. I'll come back to it after I finish the live. Hello Shannon, thank you so much for joining. Hi Kim. So let me show you a little bit about the collection that we're going to use. So this is the Watercolor Floral collection. Very gorgeous, beautiful line, and the colors this time are so beautiful. I'm in love with them. And just a glimpse of the pattern paper. So this is a beautiful pattern paper that you can use for your layouts and albums, everything. Have a look at all of these gorgeous designs. This is great for fussy cutting. And then we have this beautiful pattern in blue, like a color washed pattern. One in pink with some script details over there. And this is such a gorgeous pattern paper for your albums and everything. Okay, this one I love it. I fussy cut it out to use on my canvas for today. So there we have very gorgeous patterns, lots of them. I'm using this one as well, and the last one over here. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me show you a little bit about how we are going to do this. So I have a wood panel over here. Okay, this canvas I made using wood panel. So this one is just a regular MDF board here, and what I did was you can always cover it with gesso, white gesso, and then start your canvas. But I just realized that if you cover I will have to use a lot of gesso if I use white gesso on it, because this is wood color and it does show through. It needs a good coverage. Okay, so what I did was I cut out this pattern paper in the shape of this wood panel, and then what I did was I applied a generous coat of glue on this. Now when you're applying glue on your wood surface, I think I'm good to go, right? I can start now. Okay, so now the first thing that you need to make sure when you're adding a paper to your wood panel, okay, wood panel specifically, or any other sturdy base like canvases or wood panel, is that the pattern paper that you're going to add should be applied such that there are no air bubbles. You know, it will just spoil the look of your whole paper, whole project. So what I did was, I'm just going to show it to you. I already have it done and dried over here. So this is an old one that I'm going to recycle, and this is the one that I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, so when you just apply your glue and use our silicone spatula, okay, or any silicone spatula, because that is the easiest way to do it, and use this and just, you know, sweep it like this. Now this will give you a very ultra thin layer of glue which will dry like really fast. Okay, I'm just going to open my bottle here and place whatever extra I have back in. And the best thing about this is that when you're done with this, you will see you will have literally no bubbles anywhere. I know this is a very common problem, getting air bubbles trapped in your okay, so let us just line this. Okay, that is it. You see how nicely this adhered to the board. So now that I'm done with this, I have it completely dried and everything. Now let's start with the next step. The next step is prepping this surface. Okay, I'm a little confused, I think. So I am going to use white heavy gesso here. Now it is completely up to you, because these these pattern papers are so gorgeous. If you are not able to attain, you know, results like this, you can totally use any of the pattern papers from the collection. Okay, and it'll look really gorgeous. I'm pretty sure of that. What I did was I used a pattern paper which was almost white, so that I do not have to give a lot of, you know, I do not have to apply a lot of gesso on this. So let's start doing this, covering it with some gesso. Now I'm just repeating this once again for all those people who are thinking why I'm applying so much gesso on top of my pattern paper, because it is not going to show. It is just because I did not want to apply a lot of gesso on the wood panel, because wood is such a dark color that it would have shown, you know, I would have had to apply like 3 to 4 coats on the wood panel to give it a good coverage, so that the wood color does not show through. That is why I applied this pattern paper over here. You can apply a simple white cardstock, that does not matter, but you will have to cover it with a good layer, at least one good layer of gesso, to make it, you know, like really so that it can take a lot of mediums. When you're applying with a silicone spatula, you can be sure that you're not using a lot of product, and you're getting you know, you're stretching out your product to the max, because it applies a very thin layer. You did see, right, how thin the layer of glue was. So now that my this thing is covered, I'm just going to dry it and have a look at your questions. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Amin. Thank you so much. Oops, it wasn't drying all this time. If there is some overflow, just remove it from the sides of the canvas. Okay, I think it's sufficiently dry now. Okay. Yep. So the next thing that I want to do is just add a little bit of crackle details. And for that, I am going to use our white crackle paste. Right now, I do know where I have to apply it. So I'm finishing up with my crackle paste. Okay. I'll just put it on the sides somewhere here. Okay, something like this. Now I'm not adding a lot because crackle paste does need some time to dry, and you always get like the best results when you let it dry on its own, you know, naturally. And of course you can always heat dry it, but you get best results when you let it dry on its own. So just something, especially if you want very thick crackles, just let it dry on its own. Okay, I think that much is more than enough. Just clean your spatula. Okay, so there we have. Here. Now the next thing is okay. Any questions, anyone? Yes, exactly. The heavier coat is always for the larger cracks for the crackle paste, and if you want like really, you know, thin cracks, very small cracks, then apply a light coat. Okay, but you do have to give it some time to dry, always. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is this chipboard frame that I used on our canvas here today is just a random chipboard frame. If you have anything like any, you know, there are many brands, even Prima is now coming out with gorgeous chipboard designs. So if you have any of those, you can use those. This one is just a normal chipboard frame. Okay, and I am not using embossing powder for it. I am going to use my tacky glue because I'm using this one. It's a very thick embossing enamel kind of thing, and when I use my embossing ink with it, I don't get very good results. I have to literally repeat it like so many times. So I'm just going to use a very thin layer of my glue here. Okay, just apply it so that the embossing enamel can stick to it. Okay, let's move this aside. I hope it does stick to it. Now if you have a tray or something, it is always nice to have a tray for this purpose, but I don't have one, so I'm just going to do it like this. I'm going to do it off camera because it's like blowing a lot. Hello Debbie. I just thought, Chris, that because embossing ink does give very good results with, you know, the super fine embossing inks and everything. But yeah, I think if you do not have embossing ink, you can easily use glue as well. Ultimately, the purpose is to, you know, adhere this thing to the embossing enamel to the chipboard, right? I think my layer was like literally too thin. I've noticed that every time I'm doing a live, something or the other goes wrong. Oops. I don't dirty my craft table this much, guys. It's, I don't know. Every time I'm doing a live, I feel like I'm one of the dirtiest crafters out there. And it's not true. I'm not this messy. I am messy, but not this messy, because right now it's looking like, oh God, very dirty. First, let me get rid of this. Okay, and meanwhile I'm heat drying this, I'll just show you. Let me put this sideways. I just want you all to see the other things that I'm going to use. So here is, I just cut out these sentiments from our pattern paper, and I used this one for our canvas here. Okay. So I'm just thinking if I should use this or something else. Let's see. I like the effect with the birds out here because it just matches with the birdhouse and everything. So maybe I'll just repeat this one once again. And apart from that, I have used our ephemera pieces and these. Okay, and these ones, if you can see, I'm not sure if it's very much visible in the video, but they have like really thin outline of the white halo around the die cuts this time is like really thin. Okay, and I literally did not have to do anything. I did not have to worry about anything like fussy cutting or anything, and I used them right away on my canvas. So these are the two, and apart from these I also used one more. Natmal will give you the link. This cute birdhouse is from that one. So I do not have that with me, but I did fussy cut. But you have a lot of options, you know. You can always fussy cut out these things from your collection itself. Okay. So the next thing that, just give me a second. I forgot to take out my stamp, I think. Just a second. So the next thing that I want to do here is add some stamp details, okay? Now, how I like to do stamping is, if you can see, wherever the flow of my canvas is, I just stamp near the clusters. I do not usually stamp anywhere else. So my favorite stamp, I don't even know what brand is this, I'm sorry, but I like the script on this. So just a little bit of stamping. Now when you're stamping in mixed media, you literally do not, I don't think so you need an acrylic block, but it is completely your preference. I don't like to use an acrylic block because it gives me, you know, like very perfect image, and I don't want that. So I avoid using acrylic blocks for my mixed media projects. So you see how lightly I've just stamped the script. Okay. So now that our script stamping is done, I need to take out a few of these embellishments and just a second. Now, before I forget, I just wanted to let you all know, Prima is having the Artventure Encore, and registrations have already started, and you can enroll in an online Artventure by Prima this time. So just in case something you did not know, we are having our Artventure, and it is online for everyone all around the world. And here is what I thought, you know, I thought in this class. This was my Broken Angel mixed media canvas. So in case you have not registered, there are I think there are 11 or 12 teachers, and they all have wonderful projects for you all to and it's like a 3.5 hour class which you have access to, like the video for which has lifetime access, I mean, sorry. And do go and check it out if you have not checked it out yet. So yeah, just something I wanted to tell you. Okay, next is adding our this thing. Where is okay, just let me please sort out everything. Okay, so here is the sentiment that I'm going to be using, and now it is just a little bit short, you know, from this frame. So what I am going to do is I'm going to do it like this, and then maybe just layer it on top of another pattern paper here. And now give it a kind of frame kind of look, so that even if it shows, it's not looking, you know, anything. Okay, and I'm going to add you know, you have with the embossing enamel, you have to, you know, cover it again and again to get a good coverage. So here is what I do. I just add a little bit of paint, you know, first. I should have added, I do it before and I totally forgot about it, so just going to do it right now. Cover the edges and everything with some white paint. Okay. So which is your favorite collection from the release? Which one do you guys like the most? Is it one or is it many? Just tell us. I would love to know. For me, I think I love each and every collection, but I was really excited about the My Sweet and the Watercolor Floral collection. So for this canvas, it is majorly the use of die cuts here, okay, and some watercolor colors, basically. I'll just heat dry it once again. I feel the shabby enamel gives the you know, the frame a very beautiful shabby chic kind of look, and I love it for that. It has some, you know, chunky bits in there and then some gold pieces in there. So this is how I'm going to put it, you know. Okay, my glue gun is ready. I'll just add it. Be very careful when you're using a hot glue gun. Now that we have framed our sentiment, we can adhere it to a canvas here. Now this is the focal point. I just wanted to be, you know, kind of done with the focal point, because all of the arrangement that I'm going to do is just going to revolve around this sentiment, okay, the birdhouse and everything. So because this is a long canvas, you just I just like the look of it when it flows like this rather than just, you know, like so. I like it if it's just flowing along the lines. So now that our thing is ready, I will want to elevate it a little bit. For this, I'm using our chipboard pieces. Oops. Sorry. For some random chipboard pieces. Okay. There. Something like that. Okay. And next is arranging the die cuts. All of that coloring is going to go in the end, guys. You don't have to worry about the colors and everything right now. So let us start arranging our die cut pieces. Now I have some leftovers, and let me just start arranging these. So these are from our ephemera packs, which I just showed you. Just open it up. Okay, there are tons of pieces in here. Yeah, 62 pieces in here, and these are like really, really gorgeous. I mean, just look at these leaves, right? So beautiful. So I have used a lot of leaves and these floral images and everything. You always have the option of fussy cutting it from the paper collection, but in case you're not interested, in case you have, you know, some difficulty fussy cutting, you can always go with these die cuts. So this is the house, bird house. Now I am just simply going to start arranging these things. If you have any questions, please let me know. Yay, Jamie, thank you for joining. I love this ephemera piece, yeah. Okay, and be something like this here. Now the thing about layering is that you don't want to layer everything in one single dimension, okay? When you're layering your you know, fussy cut designs or anything, for that matter, whenever you're layering something in general, just make sure that there is a little bit of dimension in between the layers, so that they stand out as separate layers. Because if I would just, you know, layer this like so, supposedly, it will not stand out as a separate layer. So what I like to do is just add a little bit of, you know, chipboard or something in between, so that it looks like, you know, it's a little bit what should I say, on it has a little bit of dimension. It's three-dimensional basically. And what I like to do is just, you know, pinch these leaves, and it gives it a little more dimension to it. And next is, okay, let me see here. I'm just trying to, because I do not have one ephemera pack with me, so maybe a little bit different. I'll have to be a little bit different than what I made in that canvas over there, but still doesn't matter at all. Please let me know if you can see me. I hope I'm not going out of the frame. Now if you're short on time, you can always use hot glue. I think hot glue is good, okay for paper. I don't think I have had many issues when it comes to paper. But for thicker embellishments, of course, try avoid hot glue. So there we go. This is one of our clusters over here. Okay, now next what I'm going to do is prepare this cluster, and this is how I want my design to flow. So you can see my stamping I've done over here, here and over here, because this is the pattern that I'm going to follow for my the design pattern that I'm going to follow today. Okay, so let me see some more of these. I want some dark blue flowers. There are a lot of options in this collection actually. It gets confusing. Okay, just let me separate the leaves. I need a lot of leaves. So, yeah, okay. I did cut out some flowers myself. Okay, I lost it. Anyways, now every time I am going to attach one and anything, you know, most of the times, I'm sorry, I am going to use one small chipboard piece over here. So this one will go like so. The next is, you just have to keep in mind when you're arranging this, that you just have to keep in mind your the flow or the design that you're going for. Okay, and then just start preparing your cluster like that. Don't worry a lot. Okay, of course, if you're using hot glue gun, just see a little bit where you want things to be, you know, because with hot glue you have to unnecessarily, you know, I mean, you can damage your ephemera pieces, right? This is just paper after all. But if you're using normal tacky glue or something like that, you always have time to play around and look if you really like something or not. So maybe look like this. Now what I like to do is, whenever I'm creating a cluster or something, I like to keep one overlapping the other so that the flow does not break. You know, you should not have like a lot of gap between one thing. Like if supposedly this is the main focal point, here you form the cluster, and then this cluster you break it and form it somewhere else. I mean, for certain designs it does work, but if you're going for a flow, just make sure you do not have white gaps or, you know, the background showing through in between. Okay, so now I'll just layer it with more. Really like how this one looks here. Maybe some pink. Okay, I like how this looks, right? Something like this. So because that one I have added with one chipboard piece, this one I'm just going to tuck it a little bit inside this frame, then add it like so. Okay, and these leaves I am just going to pinch them so that they become a little three-dimensional. Lift your paper, add it like so. The more dimension you create in your pieces, in your especially when you're using ephemeras or fussy cut designs, the better three-dimensional look you can achieve, you know, because these are like flat pieces. If you just lay them flat, you can achieve dimension if you're using chipboards, but if you just, you know, play around, you know, kind of pinch them up a little bit, you can get much better results. And now for our project today, I did not actually fussy cut a lot from the paper collection itself, but I have a lot of ephemera, so I'm just going to play around with that. See, there are so many options, it's becoming a little bit confusing, I think. And one of those leaves sheets that I had shown you a little while earlier, that one, okay, I just remembered something. Okay, so what was I saying? One of the leaf sheets is the one that I used on one of my canvases actually. I'll just show it to you in a while. And this leaf sheet is so versatile. I mean, I was in love with it. I'll just show you the canvas I created with it. It's actually a Finnabair canvas. But the leaves were so beautiful, I just could not, you know, I did fussy cut them to use on a project. But because I completed my project with this paper, ephemera piece, so I did not use it on this one. I'm just kind of adding a little bit of this and that here and there. Okay. Okay, there we go. So rest of the embellishments, rest of if I feel anytime later that okay, I do miss something over here, I'm going to add it later on. But as of now, I think I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. Maybe I'll shift this one a little closer to the cluster, but let us see after we add. This is what I'm going to do after I add flowers. So for the flowers, I have, just remove all of this first. Okay, so just put them in this poly bag over here. These are some of these gorgeous flowers which have these crystal kind of details on the edges, right? So I am going to be using one of this, and one of these gorgeous purple colored flowers over here. Now whenever I'm adding flowers or anything like that, I like to add some you know, depth with watercolors. I think most of you all have seen it in some of my previous classes. I think that gives it a very beautiful, you know, kind of look. So this is how it's going to look, and some of these tiny flowers over here. So these are all watercolor floral flowers. I'm so sorry I do not have them in their packs. I just removed them from their packs. But Nathmel will give you the links to all of these flowers for sure. Whatever I'm using today, okay? So I like how this looks. I'm not deviating a lot from what I've shown in the, you know, the original project, because many of you wanted to see how I made that. So I'm just trying to kind of keep looking at it and show you what I did there. Okay, I think I want a little smaller flower over here. I'm so sorry once again, guys. I'm not able to show you the flowers because I mean I can show you the flowers, but I have them in, you know, a poly bag. Actually, I took them out of their original packaging. Okay, so this is the basic kind of layout that I created in there. Now that we have our florals attached, I want to create some more cluster inside, you know, coming from inside this floral cluster here. So I think I'll just add a little bit this and that, because I feel the more you create, you know, tiny details with these, especially these ones, I'll just show it to you, these leaves and everything, these tiny flowers and everything, the more gorgeous it is going to look, right? I do not like how this looks. I'll add it like this. Okay, and to cover this little thing, I have some leaves for sure. And every time I'm adding a leaf, I'm trying to pinch it a little bit, if you can see, because it is going to give like a little bit of dimension to my project here. So something like this, right? And now you can keep on doing this till the time you're satisfied. Okay. So here we have our basic design ready. Okay, now the next thing in this process is actually trying out the watercoloring. Sorry, I just wanted to add a few of these gold leaves I fussy cut. Now I've added a ticket over here. This is also from the collection, but I don't have it right now with me, so I'll just skip that part. But it looks really nice if you can, you know, kind of add small details like such. Okay, so now we have everything ready, and now the next step, the most important step, is adding watercolors. Okay, why I'm saying adding watercolors is the most important step, it's okay, oops, I just totally forgot, we cannot add watercolors right now, because first what I want to do is add art stones. Okay, so I'm just going to use our soft gel here and mix in some art stones, right? Now adding art stones is completely a personal choice, but I know that many of us love this product so much that it's literally impossible for me to create any project without art stones. But there is one product by Prima that I think is my favorite so far. I think it is my favorite so far. Of course, the flowers are one thing, but what is your favorite product from Prima that you cannot live without? That you feel that if it wasn't there, maybe you know, you would have missed. I'm going to tell you what mine is in a little while. Because after that product was released, it was after that product was released, I was like, I was so excited. I was literally using that thing in all of my projects. Now I'm just mixing, if you can see, I'm just mixing some of the these medium art stones. I don't know what this is called exactly. The large ones are the mega, the small ones are the mini, but these are just art stones, okay? So, so I'm just going to mix these, and whenever I'm using art stones, I like to add them, you know, as if, you know, in the nooks and crannies of my project. I just want a little bit here and there so that it just ties up the whole project together. I don't like to go overboard with art stones. So I think, yeah, whenever I see like there is a corner or something, I just simply add some art stones over there. That is it. This is how I use art stones. And maybe just, you know, when you're using it on the corners, I'm just going to add some of it on these, on this frame. Just basically let it flow from here to here. Just like your gesso, your art stone is also going to tie up everything. So okay, so art stones thing is done, and now let us move on to you need to dry this up before you start on to the next step, okay? So just make sure your art stones are dry, because the next step is actually adding watercolors. Now watercolors is a very liquid medium, as you all obviously know. So if you do not dry this, you will see, because I am obviously heat drying it, so it's not going to dry completely, but you will see that you'll get a lot of fallout if you do not heat dry it, basically. And that is something you cannot you know, possibly achieve in a live class, but still we are going to try. Just adding this one over here. Christine, it is the soft gloss gel by Prima. You can use gloss or matte gel. I have the gloss gel, but just remember that the gloss dries with a glossy finish. So if you want to use, if you do not want a glossy finish on your projects, remember to buy the soft matte gel. But I like this especially because I you know, even in some of the canvases, if you want to just finish them off with some, you know, some glossy finish, this is a good gel actually. Okay, now next is I see. It seems like I cannot get enough of these die cuts. Okay, next step is adding watercolors finally. Now the two watercolors that I use for this project are Pastel Dreams and Tropicals, and I was about to tell you the product that literally changed the game for me was this particular set called the Watercolor Confections by Prima in Pastel Dreams. Now this is like the fourth set that I'm using here. This is the fourth time that I'm fourth buy actually, and I absolutely love this set. It's I have made so many projects using this particular set that I you can see I have 2 of these colors in here. So yeah, that is because this one of these was left over from a previous one. So now what I'm going to do is color this using the shades that are in the collection. Okay, I'm not going overboard with any of the colors that I like. I just want to use the colors that are in the collection itself. So as you can see, we have some pinks, some greens, and blues. So that is what I'm going to use here: pinks, greens, blues, and purples. That is all. Okay. Now I'm just going to add, and please make sure you do not add a lot of water to your these what do we say, die cuts. Okay, die cuts, because if you add a lot of water, what happens is that your die cuts will soak in. Okay, I mean, for a beginner purpose I'm telling you, because if you cannot control the flow, it is going to what should I say, it is going to dirty your die cuts actually. And always remember, please, mediums and watercolors and everything, they have a mind of their own. Okay, so never try to think that okay, I could not achieve the same results as Jaya did or as someone else did. It is not possible. They have a mind of their own, and it is actually impossible to achieve something like that. It is actually impossible to recreate. Even I cannot recreate the same thing actually. So just remember this. Don't be disheartened. Just make sure whatever you are doing looks nice, and that should be the only goal. Okay, now I'll keep on drying this. And because I have art stones here, I do not want to, you know, kind of smudge the watercolor over there. I'm just going to literally drop the color and let it flow as it wants to. Okay. Keep on adding water to help the movement of color. The next color that I'm going to use is this beautiful green from the tropical set. And I just absolutely love this beautiful. Okay, I don't think I use this green. I'm so confused right now. But anyway, this doesn't matter. This is a tad too bright for mine. Let me see if I can mix these two to get a darker shade of green. Yeah, maybe something like that. And I'm very lightly going inside these petals. Okay, I don't want to soak them up in this color. You will have to keep on drying it in between and building up your layers, because it is not going to give you a fabulous coverage in the very first go. This is not a watercolor what do I say? This is not a watercolor surface. Okay, watercolor surfaces are cotton based surfaces and they take up the color pretty well. This is a gesso covered surface, so you may have to go in like a couple of times to get a good effect. And then I am going to just mix it with a little bit of blue over here. I absolutely love Prima watercolors actually. I cannot imagine my work without watercolors, basically, if I should say. Okay, once again, because we have a lot of art stones here, I'm just going to literally drop, you know, the color. I do not want to mess up with the art stones. Just lift your forgot to lift this one, and you can see that it has soaked a lot of this color, but I'll just try to mend it anyways. Now you just have to play around with this color and just see for yourself if you like the results or not. But just remember that with watercolors, less is always more. Okay, I'll first dry this out. Now while I'm drying it, I'll just try to build up the depth a little bit here. And maybe I'll use a spray bottle. Missy, all these supplies are available on scrapbook.com or whatever craft store, online craft store you shop from. If they do not have it, you can always ask them to get it for you. Okay. So you can see I'm just trying to multitask here. It's up to you because that area is drying. I'm just adding a little bit of color on this side, and the color combinations that you want is completely up to you, right? If supposedly your collection has some different colors, you can always go in and try to use those colors. Anyone has any questions so far? Okay, I am now going to look at it. Okay, thank you so much, Amin. Thank you. Any questions? Because right now I am looking on the screen, at the screen. Right in the website. Yes, the watercolor palettes are all on our Art Philosophy website. You can directly buy the watercolor palettes from there. Okay. Now I am just going to build up the depth, okay, because I think I have added quite a few layers of watercolors. Now let us just build the depth. because this is watercolors, guys, and we do want it to dry in our life, so that is why I am just trying to, you know, keep on heat drying it. And one of my favorite things to do in any project is making you know, giving these splatters. I absolutely love making splatters. It just makes your look just makes the project look so what should I say, okay, I think I have sufficiently dried it, right? And now after this, most of the thing that is left is adding some details to our project. So yes. Now there is no hard and fast rule to this is how you have to do it. Just try to play around with your watercolors and you will be really surprised with the results. I can promise you that. And just remember, with watercolors, less is more, and let the color you know, do its work. Okay, there we go. Oops, I just totally forgot. Now, as I told you, I always like to add some color to my flowers. So because this is a purple flower, I am just going to add, you may add purple, but I added some blue to the center of this flower. Just be very gentle, you know, just like take your paintbrush, which has ample amount of this what do we say, the color on it, and then just lightly touch the petal. That is all you need to do. And for the pink flower over here, I am going to take a mixture of this purple and pink from the pastel color palette and lightly touch that as well. And I don't like to color the entire thing, excuse me, just the center. So the pink flowers I'm covering with a combination of this purple and this pastel pink, and the purple one I'm just using blue. Okay. Now that we have it, I am going to add a few splatters here and there. To add a little bit detail. Okay. Now next is adding some of these, our memory hardware pearls and some sequences. And now I like to add these to my projects because I feel it gives it a very beautiful kind of, you know, it adds a little bit glam to my project, so I just love adding these. Oopsies. Okay, and I'm adding the purple ones out of these. I'm sorry, what the beautiful, it's not purple, I'm sorry. Oh god. Okay. Okay, before I forget, one very important announcement is the winner of the giveaway, the last giveaway, is Denise Anderson. And Nathaniel will post the link to the profile or will tag the winner of the giveaway. So, congratulations, Denise. You're the winner of the giveaway that I announced. And thank you so much, everyone, for participating. I really feel blessed to be, among such amazing people. And hopefully, I can have another giveaway soon. But yeah, as of now, please let Nathaniel know your shipping address so I can ship you your gorgeous goodies as soon as possible. Okay. Congratulations once again, Denise. So now just adding some of these gorgeous beads. I like to add some beads to my flowers and everything, and on top of your pearls, just to enhance the cluster details. Okay, and some here. If you will notice, most of my embellishments are going along the clusters. So just be very random about it, don't think a lot. And next is adding some sequins. Okay, maybe something on the flowers, on the frame. Okay, and yeah, one more thing that I wanted to add was this cute bird I added here. Now I did cut it out, but I'm not sure where I kept it. I can't find it, I'm sorry. Okay, but just to let you know, you can add, because this is like a continuation, and I did cut out the other half, but I think I misplaced it in this mess here. But if you, yeah, I found it. Okay, just let me do it very quickly. Now I have done a very rough fussy cutting, guys. Okay, but this is how I will attach it. And now, last but not the least, is gorgeous crystals. This is something all of you must, have in your stash. And these go such a long way. I mean, you do not have to buy like a ton of them. But these are really amazing to have. Just add it anywhere you feel like. Maybe I'll add one here. Okay, and let's see, I want a few more pearls some places. And last but not the least is adding some splatters of black gesso or black paint or anything that you have. And I have this black impasto paint by Prima. Just a very, very small amount. I don't want black on this project. I'm just taking a very, very small amount. Okay, that is it. And when this is completely dry, okay, you need this to be like really dry. What you can do is, just to get a little bit of that ombre effect, I'll show you what I did. Take a sponge or something, or even your fingers will do the job. Just add and just try to blend it out. You know, the way you would add distress ink, probably. Okay. Just as you would, you know, blend out your makeup. I mean, not exactly, but yes. Now this I would have preferred to do it when it was completely dry, but I think it is dry enough for me to do it right now. So I just thought I would show it to you. And finally adding some gesso on my flowers. Now I do not like to load my flowers with a lot of gesso. I just like a very subtle you know, layer. So it's completely your choice, the way you want it. Okay, I think I like it now. So there it is. If you feel at any point in time like that your stamping is not showing, or maybe you want to add a little bit more stamping, you want to go ahead and stamp your maybe these die cuts to add some details, you know, this is also a very good option actually. You can always go ahead and do that at this point in time because everything is completely dry. So here is our canvas. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me just clear it. So 2 announcements that I made today. First was about the Artventure. Please, if you would love to, you know, get some good inspiration for this year, we have the Artventure Encore that is currently registering. We have the registrations open out there, and there are fabulous teachers, so you may want to check it out, the online Artventure by Prima. And the second is our winner for our giveaway, Denise Anderson. Congratulations so much. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Danny. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Nathamal, for modding. Chris, thank you so much, so much. And I would love to see your takes, guys. Please share your projects with us. If you make them, tag Prima Marketing, and we would love to see your take on our, you know, live classes. Anyone's live classes. We do so many lives every month. So if you, you know, get inspired by our lives, just tag us, let us know, and we will love to share it with with everyone on our social media. Danny, thank you so much for saying that. Really means a lot. Cheryl, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much everyone for joining, and see you next time, next month with a new class. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Bye everyone. Thank you, Amin. Thank you so much.